I live and breathe Excel spreadsheets. It's the sin that I have to pay for being an accountant. But chefs don't, and front of house people don't. They need to see the stuff instantly, and they need to see the stuff in a format they can understand.
For me, this is kind of my baby. You know, I started it, and you know, I have in the past thought, you know, when do I let go? But I don't think I can ever let go. Today's trends is more sort of what we're doing here at Ostro, and I think you'll find it across the world in New York and London and Sydney. This style of restaurant is a little bit more casual. People feel more at ease. You're still using the same ingredients and techniques and that a fine dining restaurant would, but it's a maybe slightly bigger portion and simpler food.
We have one of the best sake selections in the country. We've got one that's actually made for us by friends in Japan. Boutique sake, boutique brewery. There's only 3 of them who work there. They've been making sake in that family since 1702. The chef's doing these dumplings made from crayfish, spanner crab, mascarpone cheese, white truffle, chili, and that actually sells more than anything else in the restaurant at the moment.
We're lucky we've got variety on our hands. We have a range of restaurants. We've got everything from a small Japanese bar that now sells sushi, so very much takeaway, short, sharp and to the point, through to long leisurely lunches at Ostro.
The chef wants to see the place full. He wants to see people happy, smiling, and really that's all I want. I want to see the place buzzing, I want people enjoying themselves.
People aren't interested in getting intoxicated. People aren't necessarily interested in the most expensive thing on the menu. They want to have an experience. And I don't think that's changed. That's always been hospitality. And so like my job is to make sure that my staff understand why something's on the menu. They are more like facilitators. They're more like art curators representing somebody who's spent, for example, our sake takes 19 hours a day every day for those 3 guys to make. That's not something to just smash. That's something to savor.
People like change, like something different. They might like what you're offering, but they just go, we want to try something different. So it's just getting more and more difficult to get people back through the door. There's always new places opening. It's a very competitive game.
Each of our chefs and each of our outlets, they personally go through all the invoicing every day, so they'll know the products and their prices. We don't all use the same for the suppliers because we've all got different sort of needs.
Well, all the businesses were very individually run. They were run as silos. When we went to negotiate with people to understand what the power of ultimately as a 9-site business gave us. And we didn't have that to start with, so I was desperate to get that. And I realised quite quickly you needed to consolidate and ensure that I had, I guess, the information at my fingertips. This is why Qlik has been such a sort of revelation for us. People come to you and they go, well, how much are you going to sell? So you need that core data, and I can just get that instantly now for the group, from a light business, couple of businesses combined.
It takes away a little bit of guessing. It helps with future menus. It helps with periods where you're struggling to fill the restaurant up and come up with promotions and things that would work.
And we can sort of look at the refinement that is necessary. Are we too cheap here? Are we too expensive here? Which points are we missing? And yeah, Qlik Sense has actually been really useful for that, really useful.
Easier it's going to be if you'd missed some of these other months. Endeavour was our Qlik partner, and they've been excellent, in fact outstanding. It's been a slow rollout, but that's driven by me, only because I was very conscious that it's not quite as dramatic as I had one chance to get it right with the venue managers, but credibility was important, that the system worked and was in language they understood. So I spent quite a bit of time developing reports and developing, I guess, key KPIs and dimensions that allowed that I knew that they would get their attention, which it has done.
We're quite fortunate. We work with an owner that's got a lot of vision, and he wants to keep refreshing things and keep updating things. It's just all about refreshing, promotions. You know, we do so many promotions during the year.
We put things on menus, we take things off menus, we change suppliers, we change styles within some restaurants. So someone will say, oh, this is one of our biggest sellers. Well, instead of that just being a gut feel, we can now go and say, yes, you're right, it is, or it hasn't been, or this is, but actually this one's as big now.
Before we started pushing that particular sake, we'd sell maybe 1.5 bottles a month of the biggest seller. Now we're probably looking at 1 a day. So it's a massive, massive improvement. And to be able to take that, to pull those reports and take it back to the supplier and say, this is what we're doing, is extremely beneficial.
It's the start of a journey. You know, this will go for, this won't ever stop. Because the moment you think you've got all the answers, will be the day you're in trouble, that's for sure.
So I think Auckland has changed in a huge amount in the last 15 years. And I think people are eating out more. A lot of Kiwis have lived overseas coming back, and I think those influences, those experiences that they've had in bigger cities across the world are now sort of starting to reflect here in our own city.
We've just gone through the budgeting process, and instead of hoping to hit a number, we can now analyse as to why we can hit that number. That ability to prove or support decisions is what's really critical to me. That's where a CFO becomes a business partner and transforms the business.